It took my husband approximately 4 years to get me to watch King Kong because I was convinced it was going to be too scary. And it almost was. Hello, awesome people of the internet. Once again, my husband tricked me into watching a movie I didn't want to watch. This time it was King Kong, and it was nothing like I expected. And just so you know, I'll get back to talking about my likes and dislikes in the second part of this video, but first, just a little spoiler-free part about why you should or shouldn't watch the movie. And just to be clear, this is the King Kong movie with Jack Black and Naomi Watts from 2005. And why should you watch this? One very good reason: the story. You should watch this if you're a person who likes great story, because there's a lot of story to this movie. And in case you were wondering, don't worry. The storyline is super easy to follow, as we follow mostly Naomi Watts the entire way through the movie. Secondly, this movie has absolutely beautiful scenes. So if you're a sucker for that, definitely watch King Kong. Now, why you shouldn't watch this movie? It is a little scary, to be honest. Actually, a little too scary. If you are easily scared like me, you should probably consider skipping this movie. With that said, I did survive, even though it might have scarred me a little bit for life. Also, if you're completely turned off by adventure-like movies, this is probably not for you. That's very short, shoulds and shouldn'ts, and if you are a wife and your husband wants you to watch King Kong with him, let him be the one to bring you the spoils. He'll enjoy it more. Now, to part 2 of Movie Talks. What I did and didn't like about this movie. There'll be a little spoilers here and there, but only enough so that I can tell you my opinion of the movie. First, what I did like. I am a sucker for a great love story. And in King Kong, there are 2 love stories. Does it get any better? There's first the love story between Anne and Jack Driscoll. And that's a classic human love story, but kind of understated enough so that it actually made me doubt if it would ever happen. And I really like that because there was a happy ending and they ended up together. Best movies ever when they end up together. But there was also this love/fascination story between Anne and Kong. And that was really, really good, actually. It was just portrayed so nicely, again, with no language. You know, Kong doesn't speak, he's a monkey. They just had to portray it in so many other ways, and I really, really like that. It made for an awesome story. You know, this is a story about how fascination ends up killing this monkey, this creature. And that really touched my heart, to be honest. I'm not kidding you. This left me with some reflection because at one point in the movie, I realized very, very clearly that Kong, he was gonna protect Anne no matter if it cost him his life. And Anne, she was gonna try and protect Kong with all she had. I got a feeling that she would have given up her life as well. She just couldn't. It's like, it reminded me to fight for what is right, even if it's hopeless all the way from the beginning. So it left me sitting there thinking about life, and I like when a movie does that. That was really, really great. And that's actually pretty much the biggest like I have. I did generally like the storyline. I love Jack Black. He is always a great character. I like the production value of the movie. I think it was absolutely beautiful. All of the stages and the scenes and the boat and the island, it was beautifully made. To be honest, it was really, really beautiful. Very artistic and very creative, and I do like that. But okay, the obvious thing that I did like was the love story. What I did not like about this movie were 2 things. First, it felt kind of strange that they actually decided to bring this huge gorilla back to New York. when I realized they brought King Kong back, it's like, this is too unrealistic. I know they're in a deserted island with dinosaurs and everything, but this is what made it too unreal. That they would actually do this, that they wouldn't see how that would turn out complete shit. And that turned me off a little bit, mostly because it just wasn't very believable. Also, the entire scenery where they come to the island and this little kid comes out and all of these native people of the island comes out, and the way their makeup is done, and that fighting scene where they fight against each other, that was just portrayed and made so realistic it scared the shit out of me, to be honest. So I didn't like that. It could have been a little more comic and a little less scary, yeah, in my opinion. But I think most people would actually say that's a plus for the movie, but I didn't at all. And of course also the scenes with the giant insects that they are fighting against. I see how that's a good part of the story, but I could have been without it. Or it could have just been shorter. Yeah, they fought against dinosaurs and insects and stuff, but it took up a little too much of the movie for me. I would have liked a little more story and a little less of all that. But that's a general thing for movies, in my opinion, you know. Too long fight scenes and too long speed scenes and stunt scenes and too little story. Too many special effects, too little interaction. So I'm not gonna ramble on forever about this. I'm just gonna add that on IMDb, this King Kong movie scored a 7.2. Now, I would probably be at a solid 7, because we had to recognize that this movie is beautifully made, and maybe it's just not that much for me, but that doesn't mean it's not a great movie. What I'm saying is, I liked watching this movie, but I'm not psyched about watching other King Kong movies. Like, there's another one coming to cinemas this summer or something, and I'm not gonna watch it. One was definitely enough for me. So I am glad I watched this movie, just to state that. Because it's a great story, it's a beautiful picture, and it has some pretty convincing special effects. It just doesn't appeal 100% to me as a person. Yeah, that's what I had to say about King Kong. So let's continue talking about this great movie in the comments below. But most importantly, tell me what you think I should trick my husband into watching next time. And until that, bye! It took my husband approximately, I'm getting sharp as fuck.